Meantime, Congress is holding a hearing on the deteriorating situation in Afghanistan right now. This amid new evidence the resurgent Taliban is as deadly as ever. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin live in Washington with more on all of that. Jennifer.
John, 12 U.S. troops have been killed in Afghanistan since October. The top U.S. commander in Afghanistan, General John Nicholson, is facing tough questions right now from lawmakers on the Hill who want to know when the war in Afghanistan will end, why the U.S. is not winning, and what the American people have gotten after 15 years of war. While President Trump has asked the Pentagon to come up with a plan to defeat ISIS, the same request was not made for Afghanistan. Here's the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Senator John McCain.
In your overall commander's assessment, are we winning or losing?
Mr. Chairman, I believe we're in a stalemate.
General Nicholson says he is a few thousand troops short to train Afghan forces. 1,400 U.S. troops were pulled out of Afghanistan in December and January. In a devastating report, the United Nations said this week more civilians were killed in Afghanistan last year than any time in nearly a decade. The U.S. has spent more money to rebuild Afghanistan than on the Marshall Plan, $117 billion to date, $13 million a day. And there are more U.S. troops in Afghanistan than in Iraq right now, 8,400 in Afghanistan compared to roughly 6,000 in Iraq. The number of U.S. troops in Afghanistan has declined significantly over the past years, less than 10% of when it peaked in 2011 during President Obama's surge. Today, there are fewer American troops in Afghanistan than any time since 2002. And yet the attacks continue. 6 Red Cross workers were killed by militants in northern Afghanistan yesterday. The day before that, a suicide attack outside the Supreme Court in Kabul killed 20 people and wounded dozens. President Trump only mentioned Afghanistan once when he met with commanders at CENTCOM this week. The subject hardly surfaced on the campaign trail, John, causing some to ask if Afghanistan has again become America's forgotten war. John?
Well, thank you for bringing us up to date on that, Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon. Thank you.